When people were reading my book and they found out that me and my husband would do therapy sometimes, they were so shocked, like, wait, what? Did you share that in the book? I love that baby. I was like, a book or a movie, But they're movies.
We can actually make a circle here. First of all, I'm really honored to have you. You took your time to be here and celebrate this with me. I don't take that for granted. So thank you so much. And people who couldn't be here, I know it's a Friday, there's traffic, there's this and that, but I still need to honor you guys for being here. So where do I start? Okay, so I'm so excited, and also thank you to Kigali Public Library for allowing us to give our books here. I've received so many messages, people asking me if they can have more than a crown in the library, so I'm so glad that first library to have more than a crown is Kigali Public Library. And this is not only just giving books, this is also giving access to people to read it and enjoy it. So I always feel like a library is a safe space where you can just sit down, read and relax and enjoy more than a crown, enjoy any book that is in here. So yeah, I'm excited. I would like to call the team, Imagine the Publisher, so we can give away the books to Kigali Public Library if she's still here. And yes, so I'm really trying to be fast forward because we're late, we started late, and I know you guys have plans, so we can just finish up real quick. Yes, Tona, she's representing Imagine Publishers. It's not only me, it takes a village, so I'm so glad to be collaborating with them as well. Also, usually we're supposed to give 3 books, but we made it extra to 7 books. So thank you so much, and I hope whoever sees this, whoever reads this, you get to enjoy more than a crown and bring it back for the others as well. Thank you. Say this, but everybody knew me when I became Miss Rwanda 2020, But I also wanted to find a title that represents, or maybe that says there was a Naomie before the crown, with the crown, and then after the crown. But I also feel like what I wanted to share, maybe what people really misunderstood about me, maybe, it's, of course, when you're a public figure, you get people who have a huge following, you are like a role model to other people. What is that? Sorry. So I was getting DMs, When I became Miss Rwanda, I was young, I got this huge exposure, it was nice. Of course, it comes with 2 things, the good side and the bad side. And I was not really expecting that. I always expected, of course, if you're this big, everything is great, everything is 100% correct, And when I was getting DMs from young girls telling me, oh my God, Naomie, I want to be like you. Oh, are you sure you want to be like me? I'm struggling. But then I get to post these beautiful pictures, and then people think, oh my God, she has her life figured out. No, So I also wanted to share that part of me, that even if you see those crazy pictures, people looking beautiful, it doesn't mean they're not. There's no struggles, There is struggles behind, but it's what we choose to share with it, So also on social media, I have this bubble, I'm always smiling. So even getting DMs from people saying, do you ever get sad? Do you ever feel low? I'm like, yes, I'm a human being, But it's always good to share those feelings with the people, for them to relate to your story, and not just because somebody's doing this and that doesn't mean that their life is already figured out. And try to be relatable, There's always peer pressure around the youth nowadays, I want to be like that because this and that, you know, but there's always something that comes with it. So it's sharing the struggles behind the crown, what I went through, and also trying to be relatable, not because you see the picture perfect, like everything's 100% correct. So yeah.
Let me take you back again. When I became Miss Rwanda, the only thing I was expecting was the good side of everything, you know? But then I had to learn again and be like, you know what? Maybe this is something that I really need to change. I'm only going to expect maybe that's a bad side of me. I'm really going to change and say whatever happens, it's just going to be negative. So if something positive comes out of it, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, you know, we're getting there. So when I wrote this book, and when I published that, I'm writing a book, some people didn't really take it in a nice way, you know? And I was like, oh my God, what am I really hoping for these readers to take, you know? But I just wanted that every reader who reads More Than a Crown, they feel seen, they feel, I understand them. And also like my story to relate to whatever there is, like whatever is going on with their life. And so far, I've got so many reviews, even now, you know, they're like, oh my God, thank you for sharing this part in your book. I didn't know you can open up, you know, I've been struggling. I thought maybe it was a me problem. No, you know, so there's always like being relatable to people that really helps them to just open up.
Yeah. Following up to that, what part of you is most relatable to people? So like what have people told you that have seen themselves in you the most?
I think there is in chapter. I think there's so many
No
things.
spoilers?
No spoilers. You think so?
Some people haven't read, I mean.
You think so?
A teaser.
Okay, there's something that I really shared in like my book. It was very personal to me. You know, it was very hard for me to share that in my book, and so when I was going through whatever was happening, I'm not trying to spoil, so I might say though. So whatever, like what I was going through, whatever like was happening in my life, I remember when I was sharing with people like what I was really going through, people were like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about that, you know? And if you guys know me, I'm the type of person who likes to talk, you know? I love to have a conversation. I love to talk to people. And that's where I feel like I find my healing. And so when I started talking, when I started sharing like what I was really going through, because at some point you start judging yourself, you know, I was really judging myself. I was judging my body. I was judging whoever like was around. And that part was really hard for me to share. But then if I find healing by only speaking to somebody, then what about the 10% of the other people, you know? And so many women, so many people reached out to me by saying, you just like, this is the best, not the, okay, maybe the best thing because people don't really talk about it. It's a taboo. You're not supposed to say this. You know, some people find healing by talking. And also another thing was sharing my experience as a beauty queen. Because I remember I had a conversation with other beauty queens. They're like, oh my God, I mean, you know, when I was reading your book, it made me realize that all the things we went through, this and that. I'm like, oh, so you can actually relate too, you know? We went through the same thing, but not similar, you know? So them as well, like relating to my book and like feeling understood, like whoever felt misunderstood by the society, you know, this and that, like this book is for you. Yeah.
That is actually very powerful because our society just doesn't really talk about things that are happening. It happens to basically everybody, especially in regards to that chapter.
It's a very hard chapter. I think Sandrine remember.
Yeah.
She really remembers that there are days where I was really contemplating. I'm like, should I really add this in my book? Should I really add this in the book? By the end of the day, it's my story. You know, it's nobody's story. Like there's only Naomie Yatanze in this country, not by name, but by human being. You know. So
Yeah.
it's always my story, and it's for me to share that. It's always also like knowing exactly when to share. You know,
Yeah.
that's also like a great part. Because sometimes people share, but it's not. Maybe it's not the right time. You haven't healed completely. You know, so it's always good to just take time and just like share when you're ready.
I think this is gonna be 2 more questions. Which one life lesson have you learned the hard way? Something you wish you knew people understood, or you want like your audience to understand that you had to learn the hard way?
By the way, you ask nice questions.
Thank you.
I think so. You know me, I'm always happy, I'm always smiling, I post pictures, I'm always okay, And when you hate me, I'm like, why do you hate me? Like, what did I do? And you're like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that. And you pick up a comment. I don't know where you collected it. I'm like, what? I always expected people, I'm a nice person, I don't do anything, so everybody should be nice to me. No, you're not going to stop people from giving their own opinions. And that's one thing that I really learned the hard way. Because people would just wake up on the wrong side of their bed and just choose, we're going to ruin Sarah's day. By doing what? By finding a comment, just putting on, I don't know why people do that. So it was so hard for me to just understand that from people, that it's okay to just share your opinions. It's for me to decide if I'm going to give it time, And one thing as well, I used to focus more on the negative comments. Me. I will read 100 comments, they're super nice, everything is great. And then 1% is telling me, who even told her to sit there and start talking? And I'm like, why? But now my mind shifted. It's only on the 100% of people saying the good stuff. And then the other one, I just try to pray, God will do his own things.
Amen to that. So this is gonna be our last question, at least from my end. You guys feel free to ask whatever you want after this. If someone here was deeply moved by your story tonight, how can they ensure that More Than a Crime reaches schools, library, and young readers across Rwanda?
Somebody did what?
If someone was deeply moved by your story tonight, how can they help ensure that More Than a Crown reaches more schools, libraries, or other young readers?
I just hope they open up by whatever they're going through. I just hope like More Than a Crime becomes an example for you to just open up with all your struggles, and find a way to change that. And also, another thing is I've been really encouraging people to buy these books, because I'm so excited that we have 7 books now here in Kigali Public Library. But I also would love that it reaches more schools, So it can just be one book, you're supporting another person, And if you can just spread, how do you say it, the gospel? Spread the gospel. And like help these people to have access to More Than a Crown, that will also be great. And what else? Yeah, just open up. I love that baby. We can ask some few questions and then we get to sign few books and then we can just call it a day.
I am so happy to be in the presence of you. You are my motivation in a very, very serious way.
Thank you.
So today is my son's birthday, and I decided to spend my birthday with you here launching your book. And I don't... There is a beautiful side of it, and there is a sad side of it. So happy heavenly birthday to him.
So let's wait and leave it in God's hands.
So my first question is that you wrote your book, More Than a Crown. And obviously there are other Rwandan people, Rwandan youth, who need to also actually write books. So what advice can you give them about the first step? Like how do you actually get to write a book?
I think the first step is to put all your thoughts together, knowing where to start and where to finish. But as well, having a publisher team, that helps you, because not all of us were experts, It's always good, but there's always having experts who really know what's really going on. Because I remember when I met them, everything was just from A, Z, C, D, not everything was in order, So it's always good to have guidance from these people who are like, oh, so we think this and that would be great.
And it's always good to write a book, something meaningful, you know, because a book will never go anywhere. It's a legacy you're leaving behind. Because when I have a baby, when he's born, he can see. I'll show him my book, you know. Your mama wrote a book, you know. So it's always like something beautiful to leave behind for the future generations that you're gonna create. So just go for it. It's very beautiful. Even to you know how proud I am when I see my book being there and people are buying it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always like out there. You know.
Yes.
Me. So it also builds yourself like self-worth, anyways, self-esteem. And you know, it's also nice to brag about that. You know, I wrote a book. It's about more than a crown. There's this and that. It helps. We have different themes. There is mental health. There is cyberbullying. You know, also like you know, just being proud of what you wrote.
Which season, which period of time did you write most this book of More Than a Crown? So how that season or period of time like affect the tone of your book?
I don't know if I understand your question clearly, but
which period of time? Like, did you write?
In Jan, maybe a month.
Yeah, a month.
Oh, a month. No, it depends. It really depends. I think we're mostly that we had so much time. Maybe it was when we're doing the whole editing. You know, of course, writing it's good, but now editing the book, there's some small mistakes. So that took so much time to the point where I said, it's okay, you know, let's not even edit anymore, let's just have the book. But we had to be patient. So I think the editing sessions took so much time because we had to read the, like, over and over again. Is there, like, you know, there's a small mistake, or we edit, I'm like, okay, does not sound like me, it should sound like me, you know, like, if we're editing the book and then I want my voice to be in the book, you know. So it was also like making sure this is me. I wrote this book, so my voice needs to be, and that's what I've been getting from people, you know, like the book sounds like you know. So the editing sessions took so much time, and also working with the publishing team, they're always like experts. So it was also hard for me to be like, you know. So, but yeah, the editing sessions took so much time.
First question is, when did you realize that you were going to write the book? That's the first question.
When did I realize that I wanted to write this book? But before I get to your question, I want to talk about the therapy section, because when people were reading my book and they found out that me and my husband would do therapy sometimes, they were so shocked. You know, I'm like, wait, what? Did you share that in the book? And at some point, I'm like, should I be scared? You know, it's okay. It's okay to do therapy. It's like going to the hospital to cure your flu, headache. It's still the same thing. You know, take care of your body, but also inside as well. So when I've always wanted to write a book, I've always wanted to write a book. I think in 2022, that's when I thought about like writing a book. I really thought about it, and then in the end, I was like, a book or a movie, you know? But the movies, they come after the book. So that's when I realized I really wanted to write a book. And I'm so glad it happened. Because I remember this time I was sitting with my husband, I told him, I was like, you know what, I would love to write a book. He looked at me, he just didn't say anything. I'm like, I will write a book. And then later on, he just on the book launch, and I looked at him, I was like, remember when I told you I write a book? So now he's always scared of me. He's always scared of me. If I sit down, I'm like, I'm going to bring my brand of water. She's like, Naomie, please, wait. You know? So I think that's when, 2022, that's when I really thought about writing a book.